Good morning, breathers, and ahoy.
Ahoy.
Ahoy. So, Skipper's gone today. So we brought in a pretty good crowd, though. It's sitting right to my right. You'll notice this is a new face. This is Jack Knowlton, and Jack is buddies with Peter, and he is coming up. He is graciously, I can't say volunteered because you're making a little bit of money, not a lot. Exactly. But he's broadcasting and calling our soccer games when we do live soccer broadcasts. So he's got a background in broadcasting and soccer. He played soccer in high school. But the real reason you're here, Jack, and we'll get to this in a minute, is because you went to college with Peter, so we need all the dirt we can get on Peter.
Of course, I absolutely can provide that.
So.
Yes, details.
Without a doubt.
So that is the main reason why you're sitting here, right? So we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But also in our studio, I got a text a little bit ago. It says, coming in super hot today. I just spit, too. Did you see that?
What are we at, 290-something episodes? And that is the first that I've ever seen. Absolutely.
I just spit. So anyway, super hot today, but John rolls in, but you had 40 seconds left, John.
I did. I had we were about 40 seconds.
So
yes.
So I don't know. I don't even count that as super hot. That's like normal.
I mean, no. I've set a precedent last week, all 3 days.
That's true.
Yes.
That is true. The past couple weeks, you've been a little earlier. I'll give you credit for that.
I should try to look back through the recesses of time to see exactly what time, maybe if I can recall the memory, if it's been under 30 seconds or not. I think there was one time where it was under 30 seconds.
Might have been. I will say, I don't recall a time that you come in like after we've started.
No.
So you always make it.
Always made it.
Always made it. Sitting in front, sitting in the chair, doing the thing. And today you're sitting in Skipper's chair because he's gone somewhere. I don't know what he's doing today. Uh-oh.
Oh,
it's
official.
Let me look right into Tim's camera. I am the captain now. Okay, all right. No, we won't do that. We'll leave that right over here in its proper place.
Yeah, and we can't forget, because nothing others happens without it, SPP's in the house.
Ahoy, boss man.
Yeah. So
where Tim would say, "Ahoy to you, my lad."
Ahoy to you, my lad. Exactly right. Ahoy to you, my lad. I just can't. You can't replace the Skipper. I can't sit in the chair. That's why I make you sit there when he's gone. So.
Oh, I appreciate it. We do what we can.
Yeah. So before we get too far into it, I want to thank Southeast Iowa Video Network is powered by our friends KCTC and KC.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank
you, Casey. And all the gang at KCTC. And we are powered up this morning by Hy-Vee and Hy-Vee Fast and Fresh.
Thank you, Willie.
Thank you, Willie. So, John, since you're here, and Jack, I'm not forgetting about you. I want to hear about Peter. But
yeah, I'm going to try and rack my brain.
We need like a top 3.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, but John, since you're here, I don't know if you heard yesterday, but Monday night we had a soccer match. And we were broadcasting it, and it was Jack's first match that we were doing. And they got to, just a quick version, they got to about 15 minutes before game time started, and no refs were there. None.
Oh.
And it got to game time, and one ref was there.
Wow.
And I think standard is 3. We've seen them do it, I believe, with 2. But I think they try to have 3, one on each sideline and one.
But definitely not 1.
Yeah.
Definitely not one.
Have one. You can have 2, and they'll kind of each take like a half, and they'll try their best to call like offsides. But yeah, they tried with 1.
Yeah. So not only they tried, they did. They started the game with 1, and the other person did not ever show up. So they played the first half and got to halftime, and then we went through the whole halftime. And at the end of the halftime, I see both teams going across doing the handshake line, and I'm like, well, I don't remember them doing that like just at halftime.
Yeah.
They canceled the game. And it was a no game. I mean, it was a no contest. They completely wiped it off. But I know you're a basketball ref, but and you have a 3-man crew typically.
Sure.
Can you run with 2?
You can run with 2 because like in like junior high and some university ball, you run with 2. Like it can be done, but you definitely would not want to do it 1. So I mean, if I'm assuming this is a high school varsity matchup, right?
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that's really bad.
Would you have started the game?
It depends on what information they got. Like sometimes you could say, hey, they're going to be here or they're not going to be here. I would never start with just 1 at a varsity level.
Right.
I would never do that. But 2, yes, you could start with 2 as long as you know the day that guy is coming. But and it's anything can happen if you had a referee pull a hamstring or get hurt like during a game. Like, you
True.
could finish with 2, but certainly never won. Obviously, I don't know the context. Something could have happened. I have no idea.
Well, apparently they had 2 lined up. I don't know if they even had a third lined up. I think they were going to run 2 anyway. But the other guy, and you can maybe shed some light on this. I don't know how refs are assigned or how you get your assignments or whatever.
Yeah.
But he went to Cedar Rapids, Washington. Thinking he was supposed to come to it.
That's 100% on him. That's just not reading.
Right.
Because every single time that's ever been a thing, it's because either myself or somebody in the crew didn't thoroughly read their assignment, whether it be through their email, whether it be through their app or whatever else. That's 100% user error every time. Like, there's no excuse for that.
Yeah. So anyway, they went to the first half and they did play it out. I mean, they played.
It was like eventful. Like,
Yeah.
like Mount Pleasant scored in like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like they kicked off, went immediately forward. I couldn't even really believe it. Like my call was not probably up to the standard of what that goal was. But yeah, there's 4 goals in the first half and like it was a good game. And then
Shootout. Yeah.
they just started running to the sideline. And that's how I heard it was the kids like they were telling their parents like, we're not playing the game, like it doesn't count because we only have 1 ref.
And it didn't count.
Wow.
So I'm like live on the halftime show, like it looks like we're wrapping
we're
up
done.
this thing.
We're done.
Thanks for
Gotta
joining
have
us in this
another-
first half of an exciting. And the thing was exciting.
Yeah,
That's
it was,
a
a good,
bummer.
it was a good game.
That stinks for the
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
It's funny. Like, I mean, not to be all sentimental, but like people will always ask, they're like, so why do you just go out there to get like screamed at half the time? Like, run up and down the floor and
It's
spend
about right.
hours and hours away from your kids and whatever else. And to be truthful, yeah, I mean, like I enjoy it, but at the bottom line, it is for the kids.
Yeah.
Right.
It is for them because it's like I remember memories of playing basketball as junior high and high school and whatever else, and those are some of my fondest memories, and it meant a lot to me, and so it means a lot to so many of these kids, and so you think the same thing. I mean, that's why you show up. So unfortunately, that is a bummer. That guy went to the wrong place, and
Yeah.
depending on where he drove from, yeah, you show up there. I've had that experience of like. I showed up thinking maybe I was in the wrong spot, but I eventually found out I was in the right spot.
Right.
But the sinking feeling in your stomach,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, bleep. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like
Right.
here we are.
Well, and I guess the question in soccer's different than basketball. I mean, I get it; they're different sports or whatever. But why would you even start if you knew it was not going to be an official?
I don't know. Again, I don't know what the context
Right.
was there. I hate
That
to
was
speak
surprising.
fully on it. So I don't know if they thought they had somebody else coming just in case, or if they said, hey, look, we're here. We might as well just get it a half in of a scrimmage instead of just calling it, whatever. We might as well run for a little bit. That
Yeah.
could have been a thing. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, that happened. So just wanted your take on that. So Denise is here this morning. My mom's here this morning. Jimmy's here this morning. John, we got some salsa. It's in my office. You can have a jar.
Hey.
From Cindy, not from my mom.
Thank you, Cindy. I know you're out there. I'm excited. I thought you were about to say, we got some salsa, it's all gone.
Nope.
I thought that's where you were going to go with this, and then there was going to be a rant.
Nope. Nope. We got salsa. Cindy brought it. She also brought pickles. So homemade pickles. So awesome. So we're in good shape.
I almost want to hear the rant if the salsa were to have been
Oh,
gone.
I don't, yeah. It could have been my farewell.
It wouldn't have been a
It would have been a microphone off the
Yeah, oh,
stand.
wow.
Like, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Exactly. Caitlin Clark, because she's always doing something, right? Mm-hmm. So, who else could draw ESPN to televise live a exhibition game with the WNBA team versus Brazil? ESPN is going to cover that and shoot it live.
That's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
But, it was a close matchup for her for Rookie of the Year. And, it's not just about. Okay. All right. We might get a rant before the end of this thing. We'll see.
So they're good. So yeah, I just saw that ESPN is gonna be there 5:00 on May 4th. Fever versus Brazil at Carver Hawkeye Arena.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and
If you have not got tickets, good luck to you.
yeah, good luck. I think we talked about that at one time. They like $900 or some crazy thing. So it'll be right in your backyard, Jack. You're living in Iowa City now, so
Yeah. Can I ask,
Yeah.
I obviously wasn't here during the Caitlin Clark fever.
So
Just
before you get to that, why don't
Yeah.
you tell us your background, how you got here, what's happening?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I originally, so I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin originally. Went to Mizzou with our fair producer Peter, and studied journalism, went there initially actually for broadcasting, got into the print world a little bit. I spent the last year down in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I covered the University of Alabama, and then kind of wanted to put my broadcasting shoes back on. And Peter came calling. He said, we have a soccer spot. And so that's how I ended up here. So that's kind of my journey, I guess, to here. But yeah, just like to talk. So I figured however awesome. I can get in front of a mic and a camera and talk.
Right.
That's how Peter also got me out of bed this morning.
Literally dragged them.
Show. Yeah, no, it was an early morning, but yeah, that's basically me. I've always been a sports guy. Basketball and soccer are probably my two favorites. But
can we keep him here? Can we do this? Is that okay?
Well, yes. I'm not sure that Jack's going to be like, well, I got to pay my rent. So.
Have a salary discussion live on the air.
Exactly. Yeah, we're probably not going to get into that right now.
Transparency is the only policy. I don't know.
Well,
no, I mean, the part of it is too. You know, I love to do it, so that's
which is it's good.
That's what I'll do
because the salary discussion was very quick.
It was you know, as gung ho as I was for the first soccer game, which got called at halftime anyway. I did not want to brave the wind. I called it from the shed on a monitor because it was much too windy for the first one. So I got offered either in the shed on the monitor or at the fence, and I could have a better view. And I was standing there by the fence, while everyone was setting up, and I was like, no, that's too windy. I'm gonna stay in the shed.
And lucky you, tomorrow another game, and it looks like there's a chance of rain. So we got that going.
At least there's a shed.
But at least there's
a shed. There's always the shed.
There's always the shed. It's not for you though.
Yeah,
that was a one-time thing. That was a one-time
thing.
I have to sit on the roof with a golf club held up at the sky.
Yeah.
Just hope for the best.
All right, you were going to ask about Caitlin Clark. What about?
I was just curious, generally being here, just how that was for those, what was it, 5 seasons, and 4 seasons, and just the Caitlin Clark mania, experiencing it. I guess I don't have a specific question, but
euphoric was one word I would describe for it. I think opinion altering is another one.
Yeah, agreed.
So, I mean, maybe I'll get proverbially shot on live on air for this, but I can say, well, not but judged. So I've never been like this, oh my gosh, I'm gonna watch the WNBA and I'm gonna watch women's college basketball. It's a no for me. Yeah. They're two different games, right? And some games are played above the rim, some are played beneath the rim. So there's just different levels of athleticism. It's different. That's not to be dismissive. It's not to be rude. It's just I just prefer to watch what I want to watch. Mm-hmm. Caitlin Clark comes along, and I find myself on multiple Saturdays, Sundays, Fridays, and whatever you want to call it, evenings, afternoons, whatever else, in the garage with all my buddies who are all hunting, smoking, drinking, just good old Iowa boys. And we're watching women's basketball.
Yeah,
and it was must watch. You didn't miss.
Yeah, you were you wanted to watch it. And if you
Tuesday night at 8:00, you were still watching women's college basketball because you had to watch it.
And if you'd have told me that 2 years before, I'd have laughed in your face and been no, that's a no for me, dog. I'm not gonna. It's not a. It sounds disrespectful. It's not meant to be disrespectful. It's just hey, this is just what I prefer to watch, not watch. I've never sat down and watched soccer before. It's never been a thing. So this isn't just exclusive to women's basketball. You know what I mean? There's plenty of other men's sports that I'm just whatever. But I love sport. I love specifically basketball, football, and baseball. I'm sure we could talk. I think the NBA has been ruined, but that's a whole nother rant for a whole nother day. But to describe that with Clark, you just didn't miss it. And then
and it continued on into the WNBA.
And then entered the villain, right?
Oh,
then
right.
entered Angel Reese. Now you had a hero to start, and then the plot thickened, if you will.
Yeah.
And you had this villain enter the fray, which as a villain, there are some actors that you love to hate, right? There are certain roles where you're F you. I can't stand you. They stir your emotions. And for better or for worse, right? That's what Angel Reese did. She came along and then their head coach and whatever else, that whole team. And it was this plot. The first year, they lost to him, which if you had to play that game over again 50 times, there's no way LSU shoots that good from 3-point range, but that's a whole nother point.
And the refs were heavily involved in that game.
Yes.
We've been approaching rant territory.
We're building. We're getting there. But then the next year, even though, she didn't, ended up, not winning the title, whatever else, when they came back and they absolutely, beat the brakes off them and whatever else, and it was just like, hey, you're still losing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like LSU took on the LeBron factor for me. I just like to watch him lose.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it just is like, okay, and it's always been that way. But just man, it was kind of generational.
It was, and to be fair, I mean, we were all very much aware that she was there her freshman and sophomore year, but it was really the junior year and senior year that it really exploded.
Yeah.
And I mean, we watched some. We were all aware of her first 2 years, but junior and senior year, it blew up.
Yeah.
And they're selling out. It's 2 years in a row now, 3 years. Even when she's gone, they've sold out the entire arena.
Yeah.
And 15,000 people. It's
exciting.
It is. And anywhere you went, I mean, if you went anywhere in the world, people would be like, "You're from Iowa? Do you know Caitlin Clark?" And it's like, well, don't know her personally, know who she is.
Yeah.
But, it's a thing. It's still a thing.
It's cool because it's carrying over because now we got like recruits from different areas of the country that are like top recruits in women's basketball, like from California and other places, because they saw, hey, you can be an absolute rock star. Because think about Iowa, we don't have any professional sports. We don't have any. It's like the Hawkeyes. Yeah, there's Iowa State, and don't come from a UNI fans, whatever else. But it's yes, Paul says LSU thugs. It's just really cool, like to see that momentum kind of continue. Lucy Olson came over, when like kind of to step into that kind of role in the offense a little bit, whatever else. But I mean, they played definitely. I don't want to say they played more as a team because they played as a team just fine with Clark. But it just, there was
a clear star when Clark was there.
Absolutely,
and not a clear star this past year.
And I would dare say that it forced some of the other players to become better than what they were. That's the trade-off with that, right? And they've gotten a year older and more experience and everything else, and so it was a little different.
Yeah. No, I mean, it definitely, even from an outside perspective, like the amount it transcended, like, I remember watching just that Final Four and obviously a bunch of all the games that I could. I had a friend who he covers Nebraska, and when she came to Nebraska and I would see he was sending us stuff.
And they're selling out their arenas.
The line all the way down the highway to get in, 3 hours before tip off. It's pretty wild. That is.
Did you see the viewership drop this year for the women's Final Four?
10 million it dropped.
Yeah.
But still, it's still the third highest. I mean, it's still.
And that was tough too because that game didn't end up delivering because UConn just
smoked none of them.
Carolina.
Right.
Yeah.
All three of the games didn't deliver, unfortunately. And that was kind of like and we're back. That's
right.
I watched some of the highlights, whatever else, but I'd turn it on for a couple minutes here and there. But I found myself this year. I watched the only full game that I watched of Iowa women's basketball this year, guess what? Was the USC game where Caitlin Clark was back in the house.
Yeah.
And they honored her. Right. It's like I wanted to see her. Yeah. I wanted to see what was going on.
It's
and it
amazing.
just, and they played, awesome and then bad and then awesome.
Right.
So
right.
Yeah,
so
I'm hoping.
Hold on, Jack. Sorry, we got to take a break, and when we come back, you can finish. No, it's all right. So you can finish your thought, and then we are going to dish on Peter. So, Peter, take us to the break.
Don't I have a say in this?
Nope, you don't.
No,
in fact, I'll take your your microphone away from you if you want.
Introducing Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every meal is a delight. Start your day with our mouthwatering breakfast options and savor flavorful lunches with friends and family. Cap off your day with our delectable dinners. Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every moment is delicious.
Washington County Hospital and Clinics, providing quality health care that puts you first. Whether during a hospital stay, seeing a primary care provider for wellness exams or sick visits, minor surgery to a total joint replacement, or recovering from an injury, we're here when you need us.
More than you expect for your health care. Washington County Hospital and Clinics.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you with a flexible financing you need to install that all-season room or remodel your kitchen with a home equity line of credit. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
Ahoy, and welcome back to Morning Breath on this hump day. It's hump day. We're getting there. Getting closer.
Hump day.
It's a great commercial.
It is a great commercial. A couple comments come in. So Jimmy says it's an official rant. And Jimmy, you've been around long enough to know that was not even one of the best rants. that was okay.
There were no curse words.
There were no curse words. But Jimmy, you're a long time. You know that maybe a rant kind of teetered on the edge. But also Denise has a question for you, Jack.
Yeah, I saw that. My nephew's going to attend Whitewater, Wisconsin, play wheelchair basketball. Do you think it's an okay school being from that area? UW Whitewater is a good school. Great sports school. I thought about going there, actually. I looked into possibly playing soccer there. They had a good journalism school as well. I like Whitewater.
Wasn't there a guy who was drafted in the NFL like a year or two ago from Whitewater?
Their football is really good. Like they win national. That's where Lance Leipold, who's the coach of Kansas now, was at Whitewater to start his career. So yeah, it's a good school. It's a good area. It's pretty rural. At least I mean I grew up in the city, so. I mean, maybe it's not like
city
that.
Kid.
Yeah, like it's
the mean streets of Milwaukee.
Yeah, maybe it's not that bad, or that rural, but it's a nice town. It's a nice college area. So yes, Whitewater is fun. Right. Shout out wheelchair basketball too. Alabama. When I was down there, I didn't get to cover because we had a skeleton crew. We only really had the manpower to do football, men's basketball. Their wheelchair basketball team has won 5 national championships in a row.
Wow.
They're I had learned they're very much invested in wheelchair sports down there. So
wow.
There's my fun fact for the day.
There you go. All right. So how about some more fun facts? What do you know about Peter?
Yes.
What do I know about Peter? Okay,
Pour
so
the tea.
I've been doom scrolling my old Snapchat memories to see if I can find any good ones. There was the time. Remember the time you ignored me when I got my near fatal injury?
Okay, that is putting it out of proportion.
No, it's actually honestly.
I need a gavel.
That's probably more of an embarrassing story for me. But I cut my finger open, had to go to the hospital, and meanwhile, we're running around the apartment. I'm losing it. Peter's just sitting on the couch watching TV.
I didn't have a car.
No big deal.
And you're like, Peter, do I need to go to the hospital? And I look up and your finger is it's like a water gun.
It was bad.
And I'm like, yeah, you should probably go.
It was
but
bad.
I can't take you because I don't have a car. So then our good friend Kenny, we got him and
shout out to Kenny.
Shout out to Kenny G.
One of my favorite Peter memories was our freshman year of college, we took a trip to Indianapolis. We went to an Indiana Pacers Detroit Pistons game, which was maybe, first of all, the least star power NBA basketball game.
What year was
Victor Oladipo was out.
Yep.
Andre Drummond was out.
Yep.
I think Blake Griffin was on the Pistons at the time. I think he was
also
out. So I think the best player on the court at that time was DeMontis Sabonis, but before he was an all-star.
Right.
Were these tickets purchased before or after the realization of said players?
I think before.
It was way
before. I think
before.
we had the plans set in stone before. I think it was also the Derrick Rose Pistons.
Wow.
Was it really?
Yeah, I think so. 2019. Wow. I forget where he was, but yeah, it was, first of all, horrible star power. But point being, we had an Airbnb with a bunch of people, and we're staying in there. Everyone's kind of gone to bed after the game. Peter brought his Xbox on the trip. I don't know why you did that, but just
because it's Xbox.
Why not? No, but it turned into this. Xbox. We were playing at the time NCAA 14 because they hadn't made any new games at that point, and on that mode, I don't know if you guys have ever played or last time you played, but they have a mascot mode where you play as the team's mascots and they all have 99 overall everything. They're just insane. And so we're up probably till 2:30 in the morning just laughing our heads off we played Stanford, so it's the crazy looking tree against Syracuse, and it's just a giant orange. We were just running around, and it was just
those are core memories.
Good old fashioned. Yeah. No, this is a tamer one. But yeah, that was a fun time. Everyone was just waking up and getting very upset with us because we were just yelling and
yes, everyone was probably very sober too as well. I'm sure during this entire event.
That one actually we might have been.
We might have actually been sober.
That's what I was going to say.
That's actually just a good old fashioned fun
that's
one.
Awesome, man.
I know, John. You went to a more religious college, so I'm not. And you had some strict rules. But every story of mine in college starts with. So we were out drinking one night.
So we had a beer.
So we had a beer.
I feel like I've reversed it a little bit.
Yeah,
like,
well.
I did like the things like the whatever in my 20s, and then it was like, hey, my 30s. Well, you see, we were out one night, and then so.
Yeah. All the best stories start with. So I had to set my beer down, and then
Hold my beer.
hold my beer. So
All right, so please continue this memory journey.
Another one I can go to. This one does involve, we were at a bar. We went to Destin, Florida for spring break. And
you guys were traveling a lot of people, weren't you? Indianapolis. And
yeah, we
Destin
did.
and-
We did do some.
We did
trips.
do a bit of
did do some
traveling, yeah.
trips. I don't know if you have any. Do you have any good Houston stories? Did you wakeboard?
I tried to wakeboard, but I could not stay on the board long enough to consider it wakeboarding.
Yeah, we tried wakeboarding in Houston. That didn't go well. But we went to Florida one year, and we went out to a bar, and one of our friends. He kind of hooked us up in a weird way. He was a big craft beer guy, likes to try local beers. Had ordered like 3 different ones. They were all out of them. That led to the kitchen staff bringing us free tequila shots, which
always goes well.
always goes well.
Tequila.
The night ends with what I can remember the most about Peter's is we had to, we walked down the beach to the bar from where we were staying and had to walk back. And so it's like pitch dark. I at one point lost Peter. Peter's just running up and down the beach, jumping in the water, just causing shenanigans, causing havoc.
I think we Ubered there, and then we're like, oh, it's too expensive to go back.
So we're going to walk.
So we're going to walk like the 3 miles back.
People got lost. There was just like, so we were like, we can find our way back. And like, it's a beach. So you look up and it's like a hill and you're trying to find, and it's just pitch dark. We couldn't find where we
We'll
were
just follow the shoreline.
So we're just
Fine.
walking up and down the beach. Pete's running. We're freaking out. It's, it was
like, we just go to the place with the yellow light.
Yeah.
And then 5 houses in a row had yellow light. So it's
Yeah.
like, all right, well.
I at one point just people I'm with are no longer there, and I'm like, we're gonna be stranded out here. This is where the horror movie begins.
So you got to get stranded. You might as well be on a beach in Destin.
Yeah, absolutely. At least you weren't like in the snow in Minnesota somewhere.
Down,
That would have been
downtown
So you're trying to walk from this bar in Duluth in 12 feet of snow. And then you hold up your hand. And this is why I've lost 3 fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
Good memories.
So, all right, well, good stuff. Well, we're going to take our final break, and when we get back, we will get set for the day.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
Attention Hy-Vee shoppers, introducing Hy-Vee Perks, your ticket to exclusive savings and rewards. Access exclusive perks, prices, earn gas discounts, and unlock special deals. All this for free. Join Hy-Vee Perks today and start saving.
Bring the kids, share the memories, celebrate 75 years of traditions at the Midwest Old Threshers Reunion. Relive the magic of steam engines, antique cars, and trucks, tractors, gas engines, and horses. Whether it's your first visit or a cherished tradition, you'll enjoy the delicious foods, the thrill of an Old West shootout, and the excitement of nightly grandstand entertainment. For 75 years, this has been the place where memories are made at the 2025 Midwest Old Threshers Reunion, August 28th through September 1st in Mount Pleasant, Iowa. Visit oldthreshers.com for more details.
The Connie and Amanda team is dedicated to giving back to our community by actively engaging with our clients, businesses, and the public. When it comes to helping you find your next home, investment, or commercial space, the Connie and Amanda team is here for you.
Ahoy, morning breathers, and welcome back to Hump Day.
Hump Day! Guess what day it is?
Took you 20, 25 minutes, but you are here now, man.
He's got to be a special guest on this show every so
Well,
often.
so he has an open invitation, and I've told him
Perfect.
this. The catch is that he's driving from Iowa City at 7 o'clock in the morning, and
That's rough.
and doesn't have to.
He's going to put the pressure on me to actually be here on time. Well, as we found out this morning, about
I
7
should
and a
come
half
armed
minutes
with more
away.
Peter stories. Now I'm like I'm like down a rabbit hole now.
Yes.
Well, there's lots of stories we could tell, probably. So, anyway, Peter,
Yes.
let's get set for the day.
Let's do it.
Favorite line ever is Peter. Let's get set for the day. Like
In the middle of Matt talking.
So you actually interrupted before we even started today.
New record again. I will.
It's not even.
I will put the hat on.
We need like one of those bells that they.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It is Wednesday. It is the 16th day of April. This is episode 293. Temperature right now in Fairfield is 40. Mount Pleasant is 40. And Washington is 39. Mostly sunny today with less wind. That's a good thing.
That wouldn't take much.
It wouldn't take much. That's right. High today of 70 and a low of 53. Today's headlines from SoutheastIowaUnion.com. Fairfield and Pekin schools participate in a day of service.
Along with the Fairfield Community Band providing background music.
Exactly. Just playing along.
All right, that's like a long running joke.
Have you ever seen the your own personal music that follows you around?
Yes.
You like those commercial memes
Yes.
or whatever they are. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? Just have the whole community band follow you around, just playing your theme music all day long.
Or you could be like Kronk from Emperor's New Groove, who like supplied his own theme
Yeah,
music.
there
Like,
you go.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
See, he gets it.
He gets it.
I just want someone with like a boombox just blasting my playlist, just behind me,
Walking
a
around.
hype guy. Who's the guy? The guy from the manager from McNeese State. You guys see that?
Oh,
Samir
yes.
Khan?
He played the wrong song on the last game, apparently, because when they lost, that's what everybody was saying. Like, he played the wrong song.
Yeah, no wonder they came out so flat. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Hop around egg hunts this Saturday around Henry County, and pool players find a community at the Washington Y. There are no sports tonight because it's Wednesday. This day in history.
Hey, can I talk about those pool players at the Washington Y?
Yeah.
I hang out with those guys sometimes.
I see them there sometimes.
They're
like-
awesome, man. Like, you go in there, and there are some freaking sharks in there. I'm telling you, I went in there one day. Bob Bridlinger, 92, I think, years old. Bro, he broke. I never got a shot. Dude runs the freaking table, like beat the brakes off me, and has done it multiple times. And he's just standing there. Well, I guess I got lucky. I'm like, bullshit. You're just man. Like,
That's not lucky.
Is there is there money changing hands in those pool games? Like, is how much?
there is a lot of bragging rights. I
Okay,
I have yet to see any currency that I've seen, but I'm telling you, there
When you
are
get to a
some.
certain point in life, all that matters is just beating your buddies.
just winning.
And the tables are like bigger and longer than what you would see at like, your local bar or whatever else. I mean, it's a tough deal. Like, those guys they know what's up.
Well, I know when they built the new Y. So we have a new Y that's not, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years old, something like that. It's not very old. But anyway, when they built that building, they specifically they had to have a place for pool.
Absolutely.
That was just the way it was.
Yeah.
So
Got to.
on this day in history, on this day in 2003, Michael Jordan, widely regarded as the best player in the history of basketball. We're not going
excuse
to
me.
entertain any LeBron
I'm sorry.
conversations.
I'm going to go ahead and strike this from the record. Widely regarded as, I'm just going to put just
the
Michael
best
Jordan,
player.
the best player in the history of basketball. Okay, sorry, I made it right for you. There
I
you go.
agree. I agree with you. Played his last game in the National Basketball Association 22 years ago. He hasn't played in 22 years.
That's wild.
Yeah. Jack, we do a thing every day. Random joke, random quote, or random fact. Which would you like to hear?
Ooh, random joke, the random fact.
The random fact. We've had a lot of random facts
Someone
lately.
said Gronk was the best. Did that mean Kronk?
Yeah, probably.
I did like Gronk though. I mean, he's
Yeah.
a fun tight end for a while.
So Jeff is from Arkansas. Jeff watches every day from Arkansas.
Oh, nice.
So-
Jeff is a
I
Razorback
think
fan.
when I said, I think when I said Kronk, that's from Emperor's New Groove. He probably heard Gronk.
Gronk. That's why I was thinking.
That's awesome. But yes, both.
Both are
Both
good.
are big,
Gronk
great
is a-
characters. Yes.
Random fact.
Same education level. I'm kidding.
Shout out to University of Arizona.
In the 1824 presidential election, Andrew Jackson won the popular vote and the electoral vote, but he did not win the presidency. There were many candidates, and none of whom won the majority of the electoral vote, so they had a contingent election with electoral voters only, and John Quincy Adams won the president.
Wow.
So the only president that won the popular and electoral vote and still didn't get it. He was president.
Can you imagine if that happened
Yeah.
today?
Oh,
The
God.
outcry?
Jeez,
That'd be wild.
The world would meltdown.
So you get an asterisk by John Quincy Adams. This is like a.
Well, he won. I mean, the Electoral College is what mattered, but
It's fair.
Still, he didn't win the popular or the first round of electoral votes. All right, today's takeaway. So every day we pick out something from the show that sticks with your head and what you learned today. So, John, do you have one?
I keep saying we didn't have Jack back on the show. That's my takeaway for today. That's just where I'm at. I'm sorry, not more exciting one, but that's just straight to the point.
Fair enough. SPP?
I'm kind of going the opposite. If he digs up too many stories, we should not have Jack on the show.
We should be very cautious
in
about
case
it.
of what he brings up.
Now, this should go two ways, my guy. Like, I'm sure there are not just stories running from here to here. I'm sure there are.
No, I didn't do anything.
And you have the power of the media, and this stuff can go on the screen.
power of the media.
There's all kinds.
Yeah,
of
you
stuff.
can make graphics.
There can be pictures. There can be graphics. There could be all kinds. I'd like to see a little warfare here. This
Yeah,
could,
I did make the Jack Knowlton free zone sign outside. So
Yeah, I was not welcomed warmly at all here. My first day,
I tried to kick him out the first day.
Yeah, still had all my stuff freshly moved in. Just came by here to check it out. See Peter, and I walk in. There's a sign on the door that says it's a Jack Knowlton free zone. So,
Still there.
Yeah, it's still there. So
still
I'm
there.
actually still not welcome. That's my takeaway. Is I am not welcome.
but categorically untrue because he's here, and 2 out of 3 are saying he's welcome.
Well, and not only that, but, they call me boss man.
I was just going to say.
So I think Jack should come back sometime.
Damn.
So there you go.
My new takeaway is that I am welcome.
Well, I was going to do some kind of takeaway about the LSU Thugs, but I think the Jack Knowlton coming back thing wins the day.
It's unanimous.
Yes. So we will be back tomorrow. Some of us will be back tomorrow. I don't think Tim's back tomorrow. I think Greta should be here. I don't know if you can come back tomorrow or not.
I will have the boys tonight. So
All right.
I will not.
Sounds good. So Peter and I will be here, or at least we think so. So we will see everybody tomorrow. Have a good hump day.
Well, what?
Hump.